Coming up on Speedway Line Report Radio, presented to you by Shaler Acura of Manchester, Connecticut. Tonight, joining me and my co-host Ricky Rotondo and former modified driver John Jerish, we'll speak with the 2018 SK Modified Champion from the Stafford Speedway, Ronnie Williams, scheduled to join us in just a couple of minutes. He scored his third career win in the Premier Division at Stafford Speedway. Mike Christopher Jr. will join us and talk about his 2018 season. And we'll be taking your phone calls at 203-757-1320. We stream live at WATR.com, and to hear all our shows in a rebroadcast, you can now go to SidView.com. You can also check us out on the TuneIn Radio and on the Simple Radio app. Today is Monday, September 17th, 2018, and Speedway Line Report Radio is headed your way right now.
Gentlemen, start your engine.
Sit back, relax, get ready for 60 minutes of auto racing news. Coming your way next on Speedway Line Report. Broadcasting live from our studios in Waterbury, Connecticut, and streaming live around the world, it's the Speedway Line Report. Speedway Line Report is presented for you by Shaler Acura of Manchester. And now, here's your host, Gary Danko.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this edition of Speedway Line Report Radio here on WATR 1320 AM, also streaming online at WATR.com, and all shows archived at SidsView.com. Thanks to our good friend Tom DiMaggio. We appreciate everything he's done for us here on Speedway Line Report Radio to get us through until next week. Now, speaking of next week, that will be our final show of the season. And Ricky, I've been talking about it, of course, my co-host Ricky Rotondo right alongside, along with former modified driver John Jerish here in our studio. And Ricky, I've been talking about it since the beginning of the season. I even, going back over the winter months, I talked with Tom Ormsby about it, that going to call it a career here at WATR 1320. I've been here for 20 plus years, and it's been a great run. But we'll talk to you more about that next Monday night right here on Speedway Line Report Radio, as it will be our final broadcast here at WATR 1320 AM. You know, a lot of people have asked me, well, what are the plans after? What are you going to do? Well, we'll worry about that, over the fall and during the winter. I'm going to look into possibly doing a podcast, nothing definite, but we're going to look into all those avenues. And like I said, it's been a long run. It started back when I was at the WHYN 560, and of course at that time it was more of a Riverside Park Speedway show. I was there for 2 years, and then when Riverside closed at the end of the 99 season, I wanted to take the radio show for myself, which I did, and got a hold of Tom Shute, and it's been history since 2000 here, Speedway Line Report Radio. So certainly a long run here of Speedway Line Report Radio. We'll talk all about that next week, about some of the great shows that we've had and some of the great sponsors that have been a part of this show. But guys, tonight we got to get through tonight's show, and we'll talk more about that next Monday night. John, you're going to join Ricky and myself here next Monday night. Of course, Speedway Line Report Radio presented to you by Shaler Acura of Manchester, Connecticut. Tonight, we're going to talk to Mike Christopher Jr., who scored his third career win in the SK Modified Division at Stafford Speedway. We'll talk to him about that and much more. Ronnie Williams clinched the championship this past Friday night. But, Ricky, you said he even clinched the championship before Friday night show.
Well, right before we went out to go race, there's 18 cars, and points-wise, all he had to do was start the race. He could have finished 18th, and it didn't matter. It was over because he needed 2 points. And it didn't matter if he got him this week or next week. He just needed 2 points. And Keith could have won both of them, and it didn't matter because there wasn't enough cars.
Right.
So, I mean, it was locked in before he even went out there. So it was, go get them.
Now, we're going to talk to Ronnie Williams coming up in just a few minutes here on Speedway Line Report Radio. Congratulations to all the other winners at Stafford Speedway this past weekend. Andrew Moeller picked up the SK Light win. Great job done by his team. And once again, all the winners from this past Friday night at Stafford Speedway. Big shocker. Of course, the news came out about the London Waterford Speed Bowl that they were not going to race this past Saturday night. They had the Valente Modified Racing Series scheduled. They also had the NEMA Midgets scheduled. I believe the NEMA Midgets ended up going to the Monadnock Speedway, so at least they had a place to race. I think a lot of people were surprised by the news that came down on Friday. What are the details on that? Can't tell you. I have my ideas of what's going on, like a lot of us do, whether you're a media member or not. I think you can put 2 and 2 together and come out with 4. But there again, hopefully we'll see what happens this coming weekend and the remainder of the season. Guys, any thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, as always, Waterford ends up in problems.
It's a shame because that is such a great racetrack.
It's so bad, and we've said this before time and time again. If that track gets lost, sold out to any other building or just somebody that's buying land.
Right.
If somebody buys that for land and it goes over a year without any races, you lose the racetrack.
Exactly. Oh, yeah.
That's a big deal.
And you don't want to lose a local short track, not in this day and age, because you'll never get another racetrack back. And Waterford Speed Bowl over the years has had some great races. It's a great little racetrack. The fans are great. Everybody involved at the track over the years have done a great job, and it's just a shame to see something like that happen. Especially the competitors that have been at the racetrack this season, and the fans and the sponsors that have been coming out and supporting that racetrack, even going back to last year.
Absolutely. I mean, you have all the people that support the track and support that area. That track does a lot for Waterford. It's not just the racetrack, it's everything around it. People go to places before it. They're in the rain delays. They're everywhere, Right. They're spending money in the town just for being there, and they get local sponsorships and everything else, and it's a big deal, and
it certainly is.
It's unfortunate if that something doesn't happen with that track. I just felt as though we talked about this 2 years ago, that once Beamer got into that thing where everything was questioned, what it's like, if you care about the track like you're saying you do, sell it. And he had 3 people lined up to sell it.
Exactly. You're exactly right, Ricky.
There was 3 people lined up to buy it. They weren't trying to shortchange him on it. They weren't going to give him double his money either, but they were going to give him fair market value for the racetrack.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's like, you got to hope somebody's still interested. And it's a tough thing now, because now you put the cards in the other people's hands now because you waited.
Exactly.
So now you're going to be lucky to get fair market value on it. Not that they're trying to undercut you, but you can now.
Right.
So it's just a shame. I hope we don't lose that track.
No, I think a lot of people don't want that to happen. You guys, yesterday, it was 1 year ago on September 16th that we lost Teddy Christopher. And I know a lot of people had a lot of different posts up there. And, Teddy, one of the best. No matter what kind of a car he raced, he got the job done, and we were all thinking of him yesterday, like we do every day or anytime you're at a racetrack. It wasn't just yesterday, but it was yesterday that we lost Teddy Christopher in that plane crash as he was on his way over to Riverhead Raceway to compete on the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour.
Well, anytime we showed up to Stafford, you always remembered it. And it's a shame, and it really is. As much as you didn't like the guy or you did like the guy, he was great for the sport.
Absolutely. No question, Ricky. So, Speedway Line Report Radio is also being brought to you by J.M. Montesano Auto Body, Sign Pro, Jim's Lawn Care Service, Levine Auto and Truck Parts, Prestige Body Works, and Grotto Restaurant. We'll take a commercial break. When we come back, we're going to talk to the 2018 SK Modified Champion from Stafford Speedway, Ronnie Williams. He'll join us next.
Shaler Acura in Manchester has a long-standing commitment to quality and reliability. It's that commitment that makes buying a certified pre-owned Acura from Shaler's so satisfying. Every certified Acura from Shaler goes through a 150-point inspection and comes with a 7-year or 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. Plus, save on your monthly payments with low finance rates. Nowhere else but Shaler Acura, 345 Center Street, Manchester. Call 860-647-7077 or visit them on the web at shaleracura.com. Shaler Acura, Manchester. There's nowhere else like Shaler Acura in Manchester. Shaler Acura is Connecticut's first Acura dealer. Whether it's an MDX or RDX sport utility or a sport luxury sedan like the ILX or TLX, Shaler has what you're looking for. They also have the area's best selection of certified pre-owned Acuras in the area. Shaler Acura is the only Connecticut Acura dealer to earn the prestigious Dealer of Distinction Award by Acura for outstanding sales and service 18 times. At Shaler, they make owning and driving an Acura easy. Visit their ultra-modern, newly renovated facility today. Shaler Acura, 345 Center Street, Manchester, exit 60 off I-84, or visit them on the web at www.shaleracura.com.
Opinions expressed on the Speedway Line Report do not necessarily reflect those of WATR management and staff, or the management and staff of the SpeedwayLineReport.com or VintageModifieds.com.
Welcome back to Speedway Line Report Radio here on WATR 1320 AM, also streaming online at WATR.com, and all shows are archived at SidsView.com. I'm Gary Danko. My co-host is Rocket Rick Rotondo, former modified driver John Jarris, joining us tonight, and he'll be with us for our final show next Monday night. Well, he clinched the championship on Friday night at Stafford Speedway with his sixth-place finish. Please welcome the 2018 SK Modified champion, Ronnie Williams, now joins us. Ronnie, good evening. How are you?
I'm good. How are you guys doing?
Doing well. Congratulations to you and your race team on picking up your first ever career championship at Stafford Speedway in the Premier Division, the SK Modifieds.
Yeah, thanks. That's pretty awesome. I know we had one goal set coming into the season was to win the championship, win a lot of races and the championship. So to be able to do that with one race left, it's definitely a good feeling.
Yeah, now you can go into the fall final in a couple of weeks, and you breathe a little bit better. Of course, you want to go out and do the best you can, but at least you know you got that championship already locked up, and certainly a great season for you and your race team. Talk a little bit about the 2018 season.
Yeah, it was kind of a little crazy, like starting out. Like I never thought going out of 2017 I'd be driving for Adam Scavera and those guys. So I think right from the start we had good chemistry. I think we started off with 2 seconds in a row, and it took us a little longer than I would have wanted to get our first win. But once we got the first one, we kind of just knocked them off, and we had a little struggle through August, just a little bad luck, and but obviously the guy right behind us was having a little bit worse luck than us, and we were able to capitalize during the summer months to gain a little point lead, and of course just clinch it this last Friday.
And I know Eric was racing with you pretty good in that September area where we had like 5 weeks or so where both of us finished on the podium, and that was. I thought it was real good, but
Yeah, well, me and Eric had a thing going. We're like, all right, you win this week, I'll win the next week. So we had that going back and forth, so I think we're in mutual agreement with that. So that was fun racing with him for sure.
I like that for the last race. I don't care if it's first or second. I like one more top spot before the end of the year here.
I agree with you.
And speaking of Eric, Ricky, you guys finished fifth on Friday night.
Yeah, the track was a little bit weird coming up through, and at the beginning, I told Eric, go up high, go up high. He went up high, and he went right by a whole bunch of cars and got up to like fifth or fourth or something right at the beginning. And then I said, well, you're clear to the bottom. He clears to the bottom. He goes underneath somebody, and the car got tight on him. He had to hold it down and wait. And then by the time he was able to break free to get back up to the outside, everybody that he just passed went right by him on the outside. So, and now we're just fighting back. It was a struggle, but it is what it is.
Ronnie, talk about your sixth-place finish on Friday night. As we mentioned, Eric finished fifth, and you were right there in that sixth position to clinch that championship.
Yeah, it's like Ricky was saying, it's like the top side was the place to be, the sticky crap, I call it, they put down on there. It's like you can't go down low anymore. You literally have to run into the guy if you're going to do that and drive him up the racetrack. And but we had a good run going. Like he said, I tried going down the bottom once, and it just did not work. I had to get back in the line behind Mikey Christopher. And then we got the late race caution, got up to second, and then we had contact with Keith that sent us to the back. So, and then we worked our way back up to sixth. But we had a fast car. We really did. It just, the circumstances sent us to the back.
We're talking with Ronnie Williams here on Speedway Line Report Radio, presented to you by Shaler Acura, Manchester, Connecticut. Coming up a little bit later on in the show, Mike Christopher Jr. scheduled to join us to talk about his third career win at Stafford Speedway. So now that the championship's in the bag and one race to go, what other plans racing-wise do you got set? I know you've been doing some racing on the NASCAR Wheel and Modified Tour. Will you be at New Hampshire this coming weekend?
Yeah, we'll be up there doing that. That's, of course, a big race. I mean, 250 laps in New Hampshire, that's going to be something. Luckily, I saw the weather. It's only supposed to be like 65 degrees, so it's not like a 90-degree heat.
Sure.
In July racing there. But still, 250 laps is a lot of laps. I'm sure it's going to be a lot of wear and tear on the cars. And we're going to finish the season out with the 21 group. And then, of course, I think we're going to bring the 50 car to Thompson and the SK for the final race there. So it's kind of weird how fast the season has gone this year.
And at Thompson, being that many laps, and they're putting a break at lap 125 or something like that. So that means you guys are going to have 2 green flag pit stops because you need it for fuel, and then plus the break. So you're going to have 3 pit stops for that race.
That would be what, Ricky, for the Wheel and Modified Tour at New Hampshire?
For the Modified Tour, that they were just talking about a minute ago.
Yeah, that's like I said, that's going to be a long race, and it's definitely going to take a lot on the drivers and, like I said, the equipment. So hopefully everything stays intact and we can have a solid finish up there.
What kind of strategy are you guys putting in place for that race at New Hampshire Motor Speedway this weekend for the NASCAR Wheel and Modified Tour event?
I honestly have no idea. I'm going to go out there and just drive and see what happens. I haven't put a lot of thought into it yet. Like you said, like once you take the green flag, everything seems to go out the window.
Right, that's true.
Things happen. So take it one lap at a time. We're not going to push it hard. We're not going to drive someone in the fence for 10th place on lap 4. So just take it easy. Get our car to the finish. You have the best chance of winning when you actually make it to the end. So we'll see if we can do that.
Yeah, I mean, they're allowing, 20 tires for the weekend or something like that. So, I mean, everybody's a little bit unsure of how they're going to change tires, how many they're going to change, or what they're going to do on that. Also, it's, do we short pit? Yeah, let's plan on short pit, and then you go on a 60-lap run. It's like, now what do we do? Do we pit now or do we wait? And like I said, you start off with an A, B, and C game, and you end up on AAA by the time you're all done.
Exactly. And with the tires up there, I think every time I've gone there, which has been 3 times already, we've had tires blistering every single time. So that should be interesting to see if the tire set actually does blister. And if it blisters at the beginning, sure, whatever, no problem. But if it's at the end and it's the last tire, set of tires you got, maybe a problem.
So tire wear is pretty bad up there normally, or?
Yeah, well, it has been. Every time we've gone there, or I've gone there, since I started running the tour, we've done mock time trial runs and put water on the tires, and so it hasn't been the greatest experience for the tires.
What tires do you blister?
usually the right rear is the ones, right rear and right front. I know Swanson, I've talked to him a lot now, it's just because he's dating my sister, but he says his right front was blistering bad the last time he went there, so.
We're talking with Ronnie Williams, the 2018 SK Modified champion. We've so far talked about his season over at Stafford Speedway, also talking about him racing on the NASCAR Wheel and Modified Tour, which their next stop comes up at New Hampshire Motor Speedway this coming weekend. And then, of course, they will be at Stafford Speedway and then Thompson Speedway Motorsports Park to end the 2018 season on the NASCAR Wheel and Modified Tour, a season where Justin Bonsignor has won a lot of races and looking to head for his first ever championship on the NASCAR Wheel and Modified Tour. Ronnie, let's go back to your SK team. A lot of hard work. Of course, you drive the car, but a lot of hard work from the owner, from the crew members to the sponsors. Talk about all those people that are involved with that car.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys that are involved with that 50 team, and I think that's something that makes them just truly special. I mean, everyone there has a job from, we call him the old guy, Jack. He does everything. If he needs to go and drop the motor off at Pettit, he'll be down there. He'll go from he'll go from Cape Cod all the way down to Pettit or whatever. John was probably definitely one of my favorites. He does a lot of work on the car. Of course, Adam, Les, Paul, Dave, Mark, Craig, everyone there really has a big role in what we do, and it truly would not be possible in the team we got. Tim, the tire guy, especially him. So a lot of little components that just make the season why we've been so successful.
Yeah, it's just, I know you're trying to finish out the year. Do you have any plans for next year?
We're going to stick with these 50 guys. They seem to be pretty good, so we're going to do probably a lot more racing with them, possibly do Thompson with them. And then haven't really set up anything for the tour yet. Not sure if I'm going to get another ride, if I'm going to stay with these guys. So we'll just take it one race at a time and see what happens.
Ronnie, what have you learned about racing on the NASCAR Wheel and Modified Tour?
It's a lot harder than I expected. That's for sure. I mean, you've seen Chase. He's been on there for 3 years, and he's had a lot of seconds this year, but it's tough to get wins on there. You really have to have everything to go perfect. I mean, Bonsignor's been unstoppable this year everywhere we go. It doesn't matter Loudon or Bristol, the short tracks, Riverhead. Of course, he grew up there, and but he's been really on top of his game this year. So when you have someone like that, it's like nothing goes wrong. And we've struggled a little bit, so it's tough to. We're happy with like a solid fifth place, even the top 10 finish. But it's definitely a lot harder than I expected.
And next year when we start off in SKs at Stafford, I really hope that we keep up with you at the beginning. Because this year we were fighting from behind all year, and it's tough to make up anything. And then we had a little bit of trouble. So did you in August.
Yeah.
I mean, we popped off one win in August, but the other weeks were not very good. We were in a couple wrecks and stuff like that, and that really put us back. But I mean, you just really got to start off the year doing decent. You don't need to win every week at the beginning, but you need to be top fives at the beginning of the year to get your rhythm going. So I hope that happens next year. And like I said, when we race on the racetrack, I like racing with you. We go back and forth. We're side by side. We're touching. We're hitting, but we're not wrecking. That racing's awesome, and it's been like that ever since we started racing next to each other for the past few years.
Yeah, exactly, and that's like one of the best parts about that whole racing in the middle of the season. Like, we had just good, strong races, and it seems like once they put that stuff down the track, like, we've kind of both been struggling a little bit. So I hope Stafford sees that, hey, there was a lot of good racing that was going on between me and Eric, and a lot of other guys, too. It wasn't just us, but so it seems like I just feel like now it's kind of like follow the leader almost.
Yeah, I mean, that's like with, we were going back and forth there. I mean, we were changing leads at the end of the race.
Exactly.
When there was 10 laps to go, whoever was second was a little bit faster than who's ever leading.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Trust me, I didn't appreciate seeing Eric being faster, coming right up on my bumper on the last couple laps of those races.
Well, we felt the same way when there was a 2 or 3 to go, and we're leading, and there you are. I'm like, oh man, here we go again.
How long ago did they put that on the track?
I think it was
I want to say it started at the beginning of August. I could be wrong about that, but
I think it was the second week of August they started putting it back down or something like that on the racetrack.
Yeah, it could have been. It was
just the lower part of the turns is what they did?
They put it on the top side of the track to try to help out the outside of the track, but it bleeds down, and it just changed the setup of the car. And unless you were really waiting for that, didn't really help you too much.
Okay. Yeah, exactly.
Well, Ronnie, congratulations to you and your race team on picking up the championship in the SK Modified Division at Stafford Speedway. When you do something at Stafford, like win races or a championship, you've done something very good, and of course a lot of prestige with competing over at Stafford Speedway, especially with all the competition in that premier division. I mean, anybody on a given night can get the victory lane, no question about it. And once again, congratulations to the other winners and already drivers that have won, that have clinched championships at Stafford Speedway. Ronnie, good luck this weekend at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Unfortunately, I will not be able to be there. I will be taking care of all the MC duties for the Plainville Stadium Racing Reunion at the Berlin Fairgrounds. That's this coming weekend with the rain date scheduled for September 23rd, should Mother Nature not be kind to us in Berlin for the 10th annual Plainville Stadium Reunion. But Ronnie, congratulations. Always great having you on the radio show, and thank you.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Ronnie Williams joining us tonight on this edition of Speedway Line Report Radio. Speedway Line Report Radio is also being brought to you by J.M. Montesano Auto Body Works, specialist in auto collision. All of their work guaranteed. Located at 390 Lombard Street in New Haven. If you've been in an auto accident and you need repairs done to your car or truck, why not call J.M. Montesano Auto Body Works. Once again, they are specialists in auto collision, all work guaranteed. 390 Lombard Street in New Haven. Give them a call at 203-865-1389 for J.M. Montesano Auto Body Works. You're listening to Speedway Line Report Radio here on WATR, 1320 AM, also streaming online at WATR.com, and all shows archived at SidsView.com. We'll step out for a commercial break, and then we'll come back, and John and Ricky and myself will talk, and then we'll get Mike Christopher Jr. on just at about 6:40 here on WATR. We'll be back right after this.
There's nowhere else like Shaler Acura in Manchester. Shaler Acura is Connecticut's first Acura dealer. Whether it's an MDX or RDX sport utility or a sport luxury sedan like the ILX or TLX, Shaler has what you're looking for. They also have the area's best selection of certified pre-owned Acuras in the area. Shaler Acura is the only Connecticut Acura dealer to earn the prestigious Dealer of Distinction Award by Acura for outstanding sales and service 18 times. At Shaler, they make owning and driving an Acura easy. Visit their ultra-modern, newly renovated facility today. Shaler Acura, 345 Center Street, Manchester, exit 60 off I-84, or visit them on the web at www.shaleracura.com. Shaler Acura in Manchester has a long-standing commitment to quality and reliability. It's that commitment that makes buying a certified pre-owned Acura from Shaler's so satisfying. Every certified Acura from Shaler goes through a 150-point inspection and comes with a 7-year or 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. Plus, save on your monthly payments with low finance rates. Nowhere else but Shaler Acura, 345 Center Street, Manchester. Call 860-647-7077 or visit them on the web at shaleracura.com. Shaler Acura, Manchester.
Welcome back to Speedway Line Report Radio here on WATR 1320 AM and streaming live at WATR.com and all shows archived at SidsView.com. I'm Gary Danko, my co-host Rocket Rick Rotondo. Our guest co-host is former modified driver John Jerish. And John, you guys got some type of a show coming up here within the next couple of days, I believe.
Yeah, on Saturday, 9 to noon at Klingberg Family Centers in New Britain. We're having a car show. We're going to have Wayne Carini there, Mike Brewer from Wheeler Dealer, and AJ from Chaz and AJ. We should get probably 80, 100 cars. Be a pretty good turnout. And then we're going to scoot over to the Berlin Fairgrounds for the Plainville reunion. And then Sunday, if anybody's up at the Big E, we're having it's called Collector Car Live.
Oh.
Wayne and Mike and them will be, we bring a car on the stage anywhere back from probably 1908 all the way up to modern, like Ferraris and stuff, to bring it on stage, talk to the owner, talk about the car, and then go on. It's free if you're at the Big E. That'll be I think it's about 2 o'clock that gets underway on Sunday. So I'll be up there. I'll bring one of my cars. The one I got that I'm bringing got a pretty good story. So show up at the Big E and you can listen to the story.
How many cars do you have, John?
Right now I only have 4.
Okay.
I sold 2. I sold a 66 Mustang and I sold I had 72 AMX. So I only got 4 left.
Only 4?
Yeah, only 4. Okay. My wife says that's 4 too many.
Well, it's going to be a busy weekend for you. Saturday.
Saturday at the Klingberg, and then scoot over to the
Plainville Stadium reunion. Yep. Yeah, that should be another good show at the Plainville.
That goes from what, 10 to 3?
10 to 3.
Yeah.
Yep. Plainville Stadium reunion at the Berlin Fairgrounds on Beckley Road. Come on out 10 to 3, see some of the former cars that raced at Plainville and other racetracks, and former drivers that competed not only at Plainville Stadium but other racetracks as well. So that all will take place this coming Saturday, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Berlin Fairgrounds 10th Annual Plainville Stadium Reunion. You don't want to miss it. Should it get rained out, it will be on Sunday, September 23rd. Speedway Line Report Radio also being brought to you by Jim's Lawn Care Service. When it comes to maintenance and lawn care, it's Jim's Lawn Service out of Cheshire. Give them a call today at 203-272-2054. Jim's Lawn Care Service out of Cheshire, Connecticut. When it comes to maintenance and lawn care, there's only one person you need, and that is Jim's Lawn Service. Isn't that right, Ricky?
That's it. He was over in my shop this weekend, and he's going to be very happy next time he comes over because he's going to have some magazines that you just brought me, some Area Autos and stuff.
Yeah,
so
he likes looking at those.
He loves looking through those. I'm not too sure if he reads them, but he loves looking through them.
And he's a big fan over at New London Waterford Speed Bowl, so I'm sure he may have been a little disappointed when he got the news that they would not be competing this past Saturday.
Yeah, he's just wondering what's going to happen this week.
Well, that's going to be interesting. That's going to be we'll have to all stay tuned and find out.
He's asking me like I know or something.
Well, he kind of figures you're in the know, and I can understand that. 'Cause sometimes we know things before others do, and sometimes there's good and sometimes there's bad to that.
I mean, you hear all different rumors on why they didn't race and everything else. You don't want to speculate on that kind of stuff.
No, you don't want to speculate, but as I said earlier, if 2 + 2 is 4, I think you can kind of put it all together.
But 2 + 1 + 1 is also 4.
Well,
so there could be other ways to get the 4.
Yeah, this is true.
What I'm saying.
I think we all know. So, we'll have to stay tuned. See if they run this coming Saturday.
Well, I'll see with announcing it. See if they pop it out Friday afternoon again.
How many more races they got down the bowl?
Usually they go just past Stafford.
Yeah, I want to say they go somewhere into October.
After Stafford and before Thompson's fall final is usually their fall final.
So hopefully everything will work out, and they will be back in action this Saturday. But once again, stay tuned to their website for more details. So let's take a commercial break. When we come back, we're going to talk to a driver that picked up so far 3 wins at Stafford Speedway in the SK Modified Division, Mike Christopher Jr. He'll join us next.
Shaler Acura in Manchester has a long-standing commitment to quality and reliability. It's that commitment that makes buying a certified pre-owned Acura from Shaler's so satisfying. Every certified Acura from Shaler goes through a 150-point inspection and comes with a 7-year or 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. Plus, save on your monthly payments with low finance rates. Nowhere else but Shaler Acura, 345 Center Street, Manchester. Call 860-647-7077 or visit them on the web at shaleracura.com. Shaler Acura, Manchester. There's nowhere else like Shaler Acura in Manchester. Shaler Acura is Connecticut's first Acura dealer. Whether it's an MDX or RDX sport utility or a sport luxury sedan like the ILX or TLX, Shaler has what you're looking for. They also have the area's best selection of certified pre-owned Acuras in the area. Shaler Acura is the only Connecticut Acura dealer to earn the prestigious Dealer of Distinction Award by Acura for outstanding sales and service 18 times. At Shaler, they make owning and driving an Acura easy. Visit their ultra-modern, newly renovated facility today. Shaler Acura, 345 Center Street, Manchester, exit 60 off I-84, or visit them on the web at www.shaleracura.com.
Welcome back to Speedway Line Report Radio here on WATR 1320 AM. Also streaming online at WATR.com, and all shows are archived at SidsView.com. I'm Gary Danko. My co-host is Ricky Rotondo. Former modified driver John Jarish is in our Waterbury studio. He'll also join us for our final show next Monday night right here on WATR 1320. We heard from Ronnie Williams, the 2018 SK Modified champion, a little bit earlier. Now we're going to talk to a driver that's got 3 wins in 2018 at Stafford Speedway in the Premier Division, the SK Modifieds. Mike Christopher Jr. now joins us. Mike, good evening. How are you?
Good. How are you? Thanks for having me.
You're very welcome. First of all, it's how would you describe your 2018 season at Stafford Speedway?
Well, it's been up and down. We had a good start to the year, and then things evened out, and then we got that win in June, about halfway through, and then after that we had lots of issues, blown motors, wrecked race cars that really deterred the points for one, and a little bit of confidence, but we just kept pushing, and then at the end of the year we've been finishing really strong. So I think it's been pretty good.
Yeah, you've been finishing well. I believe the last 3 weeks or so, not just the 2 wins, but you actually finished up there the week or two before that also. And yeah, toward the end of the year, you guys really got it going on right now.
Yeah, we had a few seconds, top fives here and there, and to be battling for the win now, it's a real confidence boost. I know my dad puts a lot of work into it, and he has a passion that I think no one else does. So he knows what he's doing, and he makes sure I have a good race car, and that's what we have right now. And once the car gets onto the track, it's up to me to take it to victory lane. So I think we have a really good package right now, where we can go out and win more races.
Absolutely, and I definitely have to agree with you on that, Mike. Your father puts a lot of hard work, and his passion for the sport is just unbelievable. John?
Must have been pretty gratifying to win Friday on the tragic, 1-year anniversary of your uncle,
Yeah, every win's special, and, to be finishing, I know my first win was around their birthdays, my dad and my uncle's birthday, and then this past one was, that year anniversary. So everyone's special, but it means a lot when they have extra meaning to them. So that was really good in victory lane.
Absolutely. How would you describe, and I know I've asked you this question before, Mike, but I want to ask you again, the competition at Stafford Speedway, from what I see and read and watch, is just unbelievable. How would you describe it from a driver's point of view?
It's the best in the country, I think. We have all sorts of diverse drivers. Eric Byrne's been in there for, decades. Rocco's been in it for a long time now, too, and has he's the one to beat there with all the experience that he has and all the wins and track championships. And then there's,
people like me and Ronnie Williams who are young and fast too. And then there's the guys like Glenn Reed has a really fast car. Woody Pitkat came a couple weeks ago and ran Dan Avery's car, and his car was fast. So, I mean, there's people that just show up, like Ryan Preece showed up when I won. And, it's pretty cool that it just goes to show that Ryan Preece made it to the Xfinity Series. He's racing there pretty much full time, I guess, now. But he comes back to Stafford because, that's where you prove yourself right there. There's no better feeling than winning at Stafford in the SK division.
Yeah, I mean, there's other guys, Matt Galco, Gervais.
Yep.
I mean, Cipriano. I mean, guys are running at Stafford. It's, the tires, I think, have a big play in it. To where, in that middle of the year, some guys are on 2-1 and everything else trying to save up for the, last few weeks of the year.
Yeah.
I think they got to just release a little bit more on the tires, and they'll get even better racing through the whole course of the year.
The handicapping and then the tire inventory is, I think, really good at Stafford because, it makes it so that you can't just throw 3 or 4 on every single week. You got to take some weeks off and, roll the dice with no tires on or one on or whatnot. But, you get those saves in the middle of the year, and then at the end of the year, everyone usually has 3 or 4 tires on, and that makes for some good racing. I know the fall final, everyone's probably going to have at least 3-4 tires on, so it's going to be good racing all around, and especially when they put that grip down on the top at Stafford, it's been the place to be over the last few weeks. I know my car works way better on the top, especially when you're above someone, because they can't use the whole racetrack, and you have way more grip up there, so you can just slingshot by them. So the tops really come in the past couple weeks. It might be too much right now because the bottom is just not the place to be if you're trying to pass someone. If you're going to do it, you really have to sink it in there and get the guy, because you can try, but if they're running the top really well, you're probably not going to get by them on the bottom. But I think if they don't spray it until the fall final, give it a couple weeks to settle out a little bit, I think it'll be great racing on the low side and the top side.
Yeah, I hope they don't use it anymore and just let this settle in, because last week I thought it was crazy, the grip that was on top compared to the bottom. I mean,
yeah, it was insane.
Like I said earlier, Eric, I had him on the outside. He went by, like 5 or 6 people, went down to the bottom and tried to get underneath somebody, and the thing was locked down. He had to back off a little bit, and as he backed off, the 5 people he just passed just went right back by him on the outside.
Yeah, I think it's way too much right now. I think they've done it every single week since they started, putting that stuff on the outside. So I think if they don't spray it for the next 2 weeks until the fall final, it'll relieve itself up there a little bit, and I think it'll go back to a couple 3 weeks ago when there was a good bottom lane like there always is, but they also have a little bit of grip up top to where you can run the outside competitively against people, and I think that'll make the best kind of racing.
So when you were running the Wild Thing karts on Monday nights, did you figure then you were running SKs, or you think what was your future plan then?
To be honest, I don't really know. I usually, when I was younger, I was just I went to Stafford every single Friday night to watch Ted race, and I was racing myself on the mini mile on the front stretch, but I don't think I really had dreams or aspirations to get in the modified division when I was that young, and not really knowing much about the sport and what it's about. And I think I've learned a lot over the past couple of years, even this year itself, just what it means to be racing, and how much of a passion I have for it now. It's a lot different from when you're younger, but I know working up to the legend cars and realizing that we're pretty good at this game, so let's see how far we can go. And then getting into the SK division, when I first started, it's tough when you go every single week and you don't really have, you show up and you want to win, you have that strive, but it's tough when the car's not not to full potential. In the beginning of my SK career, I think that's what it was like for the first couple of years, and then we hit on it. And once this year began, I knew we had a good car, and I knew going to the track every single Friday night that we had a really good chance of winning. It just came down to not getting involved in all the shit, basically. I mean, it's fun racing there, but there's a point to, like, the race doesn't really start until lap 20. Fast guys have to start in the back, so you're starting at least 10th or further. Like last week, I started 13th, so for the first 20 laps, it's surviving. You got to play offense and defense. Get through all the people that start up front, and once you do get to that point with all the fast guys usually rise to the top around lap 20, then it's time to go. So that's the best part about Stafford.
Hey, Michael, I think I asked you the last time you were here on Speedway Line Report Radio. Does your father have the desire to get back suited up and maybe get behind the wheel of a race car, whether it be in practice or possibly a race?
I don't really know right now. I know he really likes what he's doing because he, like I said, he has a big passion for making a race car go faster, improving anything, really. He's a great innovator and is always thinking about improvement on anything, not even just cars. So I think he likes what he's doing right now because he's given me a fast car, and we're proving that by showing up in Victory Lane. We have another car owned by Al Hankey that we've been meaning to get out there. I mean, we had it pretty much almost ready to go. We had a motor in it and everything. By July, we had it in, but then the motor broke in the 82 car that we run at Stafford, so we had to take the motor out and put it in. It was a hectic month of August and July where we couldn't really expand on racing to own it because we had to focus on Stafford. But we do have that car ready to go now, or almost ready to go. We have put a motor in it, so the plan is to race at Thompson at the end of the year. So I think before fall final, during the practice, we'll probably break that one out. And if he wants to drive it, I mean, go ahead. I'll give him the keys. I really don't care. I know he'll have fun doing it. So
yeah,
it's up to him.
All right. Hey, Mike, we're going to take a commercial break. When we come back, we'll continue our conversation. And you're listening to Speedway Line Report Radio here on WATR 1320 AM, also streaming online at WATR.com, and all shows archived at SidsView.com. We're back right after this.
There's nowhere else like Shaler Acura in Manchester. Shaler Acura is Connecticut's first Acura dealer. Whether it's an MDX or RDX sport utility or a sport luxury sedan like the ILX or TLX, Shaler has what you're looking for. They also have the area's best selection of certified pre-owned Acuras in the area. Shaler Acura is the only Connecticut Acura dealer to earn the prestigious Dealer of Distinction Award by Acura for outstanding sales and service 18 times. At Shaler, they make owning and driving an Acura easy. Visit their ultra-modern, newly renovated facility today. Shaler Acura, 345 Center Street, Manchester, exit 60 off I-84, or visit them on the web at www.shaleracura.com. Shaler Acura in Manchester has a long-standing commitment to quality and reliability. It's that commitment that makes buying a certified pre-owned Acura from Shaler's so satisfying. Every certified Acura from Shaler goes through a 150-point inspection and comes with a 7-year or 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. Plus, save on your monthly payments with low finance rates. Nowhere else but Shaler Acura, 345 Center Street, Manchester. Call 860-647-7077 or visit them on the web at shaleracura.com. Shaler Acura, Manchester.
Welcome back to Speedway Line Report Radio on WATR 1320 AM, also streaming online at WATR.com, and all shows archived at SidsView.com. Of course, tonight's show and then next Monday night will be our final show ever of Speedway Line Report Radio. Going to kind of, as I mentioned earlier, guys, take some time off, possibly maybe do a podcast for 2019. There again, that's still up in the air, but it's been a long run here at WATR.
So it gives you an extra night to eat, right? Because you eat every time I see on Facebook, you're eating somewhere.
Well, no, but I also got to lose the 14 to 15 pounds that I gained too. But anyways, back on with our second guest of the evening, Mike Christopher Jr., who scored his third career win at Stafford Speedway. And Mike, we talked about Stafford and your SK, and talk a little bit about the race team. You talked about your dad, who's who leads your number 82 team, but how about some of the other members of that team?
Well, Michael Sullivan's still helping us out. Also have JJ, my buddy Marcus does tires. We have a kid, Justin Camerata, that helps out. Slick helps out. I really have to thank my Auntie Quinn for everything, and my Uncle Ted. There's racing's a team sport, and it takes everybody to, make it run and operate well. So we also have sponsors. Tick Mike's been helping me since I was in Legend Cars. The Mayhofer family, him and Jenny, they sponsor us in Africa, and without them, I really wouldn't be here. So thanks to them, and Sean Waddell, Pettit for the Power. There's a lot of people that give us product sponsors too. Moroso and FK Roddens, Leaf Racewear gave me a suit, BMRS, Hams Welding, LaJoy, Ricky Cluth, Mohawk Northeast, Connecticut Trailers, Craig Equipment Corporation, PT Watts, Eagle Fencing Guardrail. There's a lot of people that help us out here, so shout out to them.
Well, I'm going to give a little shout out to your number one fan who told gentlemen start your engines last week.
Yeah, my sister's really been liking the racing recently. She like I said, when you're younger, you don't really understand the sport and what goes into it, and that's what she was like before. And now she's at the track every single week, and watching the races and sees what's going on, who's fast, who's slow. It's pretty cool to watch actually, because she understands the sport, and she had the opportunity to send the drivers off last week, and I know she was really excited and nervous about that. So I think she did a really good job, and she had a lot of fun doing it. So
good.
It's a family sport here too. There's a lot of people that my grandma shows up every single week with my cousins. She did that for Legend Cars too. My Auntie Jess showed up. My Mimi shows up when she can for the big races. So it's a lot of fun.
All right. Mike, I want to thank you for being a part of the show. Once again, congratulations to you and your race team. 3 career wins in the Premier Division at Stafford Speedway. Things are coming along very good for you and your race team. And once again, thanks for everything. Every time we've asked you to come on the show, whether you were in studio or by phone, we appreciate it. You always, acknowledged us and came to be a part of the show. So once again, thanks, Mike, and great job in 2018.
All right, thank you. You and Ricky put on a great show here on the radio, so it's been fun to be a part of. So thank you very much. Thank
you. You're very welcome. Mike Christopher Jr. joining us tonight on this edition of Speedway Line Report Radio. Speedway Line Report Radio is presented to you by Shaler Acura of Manchester, Connecticut, and also being brought to you by J.M. Montesano Auto Body, Sign Pro, Jim's Lawn Care Service, Levine Auto and Truck Parts, Prestige Body Works, and Grotto Restaurant. So, guys, Ricky, John, you'll be with us here next Monday night, and we'll say our final goodbyes and talk about some of the radio shows over the last several years that we've had here on Speedway Line Report Radio. Right now, don't know if I'm going to schedule any guests. I'll think about that over the next several days, and we'll just take 60 minutes and kind of reminisce here of about Speedway Line Report Radio on WATR 1320. So that's going to wrap up this edition of Speedway Line Report Radio. Once again, for Ricky Rotondo, John Jerish, Steve Noxon, and a big thank you to Tom DiMaggio from SidsView.com and, of course, Vault Production. Appreciate everything he's done for us here on Speedway Line Report Radio. Don't forget, this show can be heard in a rebroadcast at SidsView.com. So we'll say good night and talk to you next Monday night.
The preceding has been a GMD production. Don't forget to listen to Gary next Monday night for more auto racing news on the Speedway Line Report.